Alright, so what do we think? I'm pretty happy with this guy. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's beat all my expectations. I thought there was going to be a lot more trouble, a lot more tuning. This thing actually worked pretty great from day one, and it's just getting better each time we go out. Um, so right now I have the single stage stock foams in the front. I have the dual stage Proline foams in the back. I am going to take those out and just go with the stock foams. You can see there's a lot more squish, a lot more bite. It works out a lot better for this. The dual stage worked great, just not for this application because I don't think this is heavy enough. So on a heavier vehicle, these would work great. So these are probably going to go in the Remo. And I'm going to just go to stock foams on the rear. Lots of tuning options on this. We still haven't even explored yet. The transmission is holding up great. It was making a funny noise the other day when Scott and I were out, and it was basically just, since this is an open transmission, it was getting dirt and stuff down here in the pinion and the spur gear, and it was making a clicking noise, and I just took a little brush and went around and cleaned it, and that got rid of all that noise. So that I thought something was broken or something, but it wasn't. It was just dirt in there. So be aware if you do buy this particular transmission, it is open and you might get a little bit of dust and crud and dirt down in there, and it might make a noise. Look there first. The drive shafts, they are holding up fantastic. Haven't had any problems with them. The angled links are working great. We got them all tuned in. Everything locked down. Our pinion angles are good. I believe these are 85 or 88 gram wheel weights on all four corners with the aluminum wheels that were on the Remo. They're doing great. These are the Super Swamper Rocks tires. I don't remember if these are an Endura brand or if they're who they're made by, but they're doing great so far. They seem to have pretty good grip when it comes to climbing slow, which is what I wanted this for. The ESC and receiver is in the small box. My motor does not even get warm to the touch. I can, as soon as I'm done, I can put my finger on it and it's not even warm. So my receiver and ESC is in the box. Thought it might be an issue. It has not been yet. I'm only running it on a 2S. This is the 4600 mAh 2S hard pack. Fits in there perfect with the little box. Yeah, there's a lot of other options. People ask why I did my motor this way. It really doesn't matter. You can have your motor facing forward or your motor facing backwards. It all just depends on which axles you're using. Mine are just axial axles, so I have a center diff location. But if you had like AR60 axles or something like that, they're offset, then you might want to turn your rear end or turn your transmission around the other way to get the yoke on the other side. Other than that, the shocks are great. If you remember, the shocks came with all these springs, and the only ones I used actually was the very softest one, and it's the black one. And in the rear, what I did was I took this spring and I cut it in half, and I took the shock apart, so there's half the spring on top and half the spring on bottom of the piston. So that gives me a little bit of compression, and also if I pull up on it, it wants to pull it back down. So that keeps me right in the middle. On the front, I have a full droop setup, which means I took the shock apart and I put the spring under the piston, which wants to shove that piston up and keep this front end down. So when I pull up, it wants to pull it back down. So it should always stay collapsed like that. It still gives me articulation. It's not that strong of a spring, but when I pull down, it wants to go back up and keep that front end down. Running the DC motors, 35 gram servo. So far it's been great. It's a little tall, and I'm still trying to whittle away this arm a little bit to get the clearance, but with a little bit of space I have in there, it's not really hurting anything. So if I can get that up in there a little higher, I will. I have seen some micro servos, but they're like $68, and I just wasn't going to spend that. So all in all, great build, having fun with it. Any questions? I've been talking to a few of you guys. I know a lot of you guys Not a lot of you, but a few of you have been ordering these, and you're getting into this also. Any questions I can help you with, email me, message me through YouTube. I try to get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, thanks for watching, guys. I mean, this has been fun. We're going to get it out. I try not to do too many videos of the same exact thing because you're going to get tired of seeing this, but I am going to try to get this out to Ocala over at Scale Mountain over on some of those rocks and see what we can do over there. And then we'll move on to the next build. But this is just going to get better. Anything I find that helps, I will let you know, and if it hinders it, I'll let you know. But so far, everything we've done has made this thing work pretty good. And I'm a novice. I'm not a professional crawler. I don't do competitions, but I was surprised at what this thing can do. So, some of you guys said to put wheel spacers on. And yes, I may put wheel spacers on, but I don't want it to get too wide. And it just looks narrow because this body is narrow. These are AR-44 axial axles, so this is a stock width of an SCX-10 So it just looks skinny because the cage is skinny, and I don't want a really wide track because then I can't go in certain trenches and do certain obstacles because it's too wide. So I may do spacers. I'm not going to do anything real drastic, but this just looks skinny because there's no body on it. It's actually SCX-10 standard width. Alright guys, hope all this helps you out. We'll get started on a new build. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. See you next time.